All right, welcome to the Spoiler Kings. My name is St. Kern with Brandman Brandon, Brian the Grizzly, and we're going to talk about this weekend's newest release, the racing movie based on a video game, based on a true story, Gran Turismo. So we're gonna, yeah, it's based on so many things. But we're gonna get into our ratings at the end, some of the good stuff, some of the bad stuff. But before we start, Brian, you got a quick breakdown of what this movie's about?
Of course, because it's not about much. The true story of a team of unlikely underdogs, a working class gamer, a former race car driver, an idealistic motorsport executive who risk it all to take on the most elite sport in the world. I guess. I mean, was he really a working class? I mean, driver? Like his dad had all the stuff.
I mean, yeah,
he was like
I guess
soccer player.
Yeah, that's true. Well, he was he worked in the train yard. The dad. So,
like, I mean, that's what he had to do after being a soccer.
Yeah. But yeah. Like you said, it's based on a real story off of a video game player becoming a race car driver. Pretty simple. But Brandon, you want to tell us some of your likes about this one?
Oh yeah, sure. First and foremost, this has been like the summer of like movies that I didn't expect to like as much as I did, that I ended up liking. This was definitely one of them. Definitely good underdog story, very entertaining. One thing that I really liked is I don't know how much CG was used, but it kind of felt like Neil Blomkamp was only using CG when he absolutely had to. Mm-hmm. It felt like the races felt very practical and very grounded. I liked the whole overall, just speaking of grounded, I liked the overall vibe of the movie. It felt very grounded. We're so used to and kind of corrupted by like CG heavy everything when it comes to cinema nowadays. So it was nice to see something a little more realistic and practical feeling. I thought that the acting all around the table was very good. It was nice to see Orlando Bloom back in a movie. Yeah. He's not he hasn't been doing a whole lot because he doesn't really have to. He got his good Pirates and Lord of the Rings money, and if I was married to Katy Perry, I probably wouldn't be doing a whole lot either.
But traveling with her, let's go.
Yeah, but it was nice to see him in this. I liked his supporting role. Obviously David Harbour, I thought he was great in the movie. He was, for that kind of character, he was perfect, I thought. And Djimon Hounsou, who's great in everything he's in, he did a great job too. I liked the whole kind of pacing of the movie. It felt appropriately kinetic and really fast paced, almost kind of like Days of Thunder. It almost felt like a Tony Scott film in that regard. And the lead actor, whose name is escaping me, I liked him as the character of Yan.
Yan.
And
Madekwi.
Yeah. And even kind of surprisingly emotional moments, especially with the with the accident that happens a little after the midway mark. So, it was easy to get invested. I really, really enjoyed it. But those are all my thoughts. I went on a little longer than I meant to. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. No,
and by the way, it was interesting to see Ginger Spice as the mom.
Oh shit! Yeah. I'm like, I know she was. Yeah.
Jerry Halliwell.
The whole time I'm like, I know I've seen her before, and I couldn't think of where. Oh, that's hilarious.
She's aged 12-year-old amazingly,
like,
by the way.
I know who you are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I had to throw that in there. She's just aged amazingly, by the way. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was well. I think it was kind of appropriate to see her in it because she's married to a professional driver in real life, I think.
Oh really?
Yeah, but yeah. Overall, I really enjoyed it. It was nice to see Neil Blomkamp make something that I really liked because he kind of after District 9, he was kind of falling flat for a little bit. So it was. I'm hoping this is a return to form for him.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Okay, so for my good one, I mean, I have to start all conversations about this movie with David Harbour.
Mhm.
David Harbour really acted his butt off. I mean, it was so very believable. So every part of it made sense. Like him not believing, and then him starting to believe. It was almost like his belief was what the audience saw. Like, you know, as an audience member, you're like, I don't know if these guys could do it. And that's what he said. You guys can't do it. And then as you start seeing, like, I kind of like this guy. And he's like, I'm kind of like this guy. Like, it's like the way your emotions are set was following David Harbour. And I thought that was really cool. I love Orlando Bloom's character, and that he really didn't care about the character. It wasn't like he was behind Yen. He was behind whoever the one he thought that can actually make this happen. Because he did put his neck out there for this entire thing, but you know, he didn't care who it was. He wanted the more charismatic kid. What's his name? Was it Nicholas or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So he really wanted that guy. But you know, Yen was the one who worked out because he cared the most. I was surprised how tall the kid was that played him. Like me being a taller person, I couldn't imagine being in that little car all that time. So
Damn,
that
he's
was
6'4".
yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's and David Harbour's tall too. So I mean, but he's taller than David Harbour. So it was like,
Didn't they bring that up in the movie about him being tall?
yeah, he did. He said that. So
Yeah.
how the hell are you gonna fit in the car? That's what he kept on
Yeah.
saying. How the hell are
Yeah.
you gonna fit in the car? This doesn't make any sense. Little car. Jaimin Hunsu, I really did enjoy because you know, the father who is telling you don't believe in it because he cares about you because he doesn't want your dreams to be shot, but that's not always the right thing. Sometimes that it's about, you know, shooting for the stars, you know, and you know his son shot for the stars, and he made it, and it was amazing. And that connection he had in the movie when he hugged his son, and the fact that his son was so needing that, because anytime he got a phone call from him, he didn't want to take it because he thought that he was gonna say something negative about him. But then when he came, he says, "I'm so proud of you." Even me, I was like, yeah. Oh, that was something. Because it was like he had two dad moments. He had David Harbour as his father, you know, father figure, and then he had Jamin Hunsu as his actual father. And the belief in him is what really started to push everything. And then the hate he was getting from everybody else. I just thought that it was so well done overall. It wasn't just like a straight story. It wasn't just like you're going to succeed. No, this is more like, no, you're going to have to go through some things, and it wasn't like they won it all. It was like, can you get to almost place? Can you get to third place? That's what it was about. Because it's not like you're gonna come in and be a world record. I'm gonna beat everybody. No, that's not what they were talking about. And I thought that was good too. And I was happy to see that.
I think that allowed it to be more realistic, you know. And obviously it was based on a real story, so it should be realistic. But yeah, it wasn't like, oh, we're gonna change it where he's gonna like win every race. It was like, no, it was a struggle the whole time. They were like, listen, we just want you on the podium. It doesn't need to be first place, don't even need to be second place, but just be up there. And I'm like, oh, that's an interesting way of thinking about it. Yeah, I did like that too. Anything else?
No, that's all I got. Go ahead.
Okay. So yeah, so I looked it up really quick. I guess the actual guy himself, Yan was it Martinborough?
Yeah, Martin
He's
Burrow.
only 5'10" in real life.
But that's still very tall for a
It's
race
still,
car driver.
yeah,
driver.
yeah. But I was like, this guy was like another like what 6 inches taller than him.
Yeah.
So yeah, this Archie guy is super big. Because I think David Harbour is.
I think he's like 6'2", 6'3".
6'3".
Yeah, and he was
Like
taller than him.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was like, that was kind of cool. But I you know, same like Brian, David Harbour was the show stealer for this one. He made this movie from escalate to a whole nother level. Like it was a good movie. I was having fun with it. And then once he came in, and just how great of an actor he is, and his character brought it to another level of like getting that emotion. Because like you said, he's kind of like the audience in a way where like, oh, you're not gonna win, you're suck, and then he grows to love the main character. You know,
Exactly.
so yeah, he crushed. I thought he did great. But all the actors were a lot of fun. Orlando Bloom wasn't big in the movie. The few roles that he did play were important. Like he's a great actor too. So having him just sprinkle in every now and then to add in a little bit more, I thought was really good. But the guy who played Yan was Archie. Archie was his best name. But yeah, he was great. Yeah, Hideki. He was great. He was super great. I enjoyed him from the beginning to the end. I thought it was a good arc of the character because his whole thing was that. But even like the flow of the movie, I thought was good because it went from like this video game kind of movie, where Brandon, you said like they didn't do a lot of CGI, but the little bit they did made it seem more video game like, which is exactly what he needed to do.
All on the right trail because he knows exactly the right way to do it because he's done it thousands of times.
I thought the coolest thing was when he's in the gamer chair and the car builds around him.
That was awesome.
But then later in the movie, when he's in the car and the car like unbuilds itself, and he's like back into that gamer chair. I'm like, that's awesome. That's like a cool way to like tie it all together. Where it's like, yeah, for him, it's always been the same kind of thing. It's always been him in the seat with the steering wheel, whether it be in the car or in the gamer chair. So I thought that was kind of cool. And I always liked how it kind of looked like the actual video game because when he was coming around the corner, he had the little bar right there. Like this is where he's at in fourth place or whatever. So a little of the bits of the CGI they did made it seem better. It made it seem like a video game kind of movie, even though it really kind of wasn't. It was about a video game, but it really wasn't like how Mario Brothers is a video game movie. This is kind of a little bit different. But yeah, man, it went from video game to Rocky, because I hear, here's the bad European guy, and then at the end it's like it's a personal trauma, that you have to fix, and it sounds like a movie that would be all over the place, but they paced it so well where I had a lot of fun with it, and you feel bad for him, you're happy with him, and the dad and him have a great scenes together. So yeah,
I was waiting for the European dude to say, "I must break you."
Yeah, same, man. Same the whole time. So we're getting some comments before we get into the bads. Xavier said, I felt like Ford versus Ferrari little brother. I enjoyed it quite a lot. Kinda. Good racing movies are really good. Ford versus Ferrari was good, and would you say Days of what was it? Which movie did you say?
Days of Thunder.
Yeah. I mean, that's like the peak racing movie, and if you can compare any racing movie to that, that's probably a good thing. So
I'm just glad it did. Gran Turismo did better than Need for Speed.
Big time. Yeah.
There was a Need for Speed movie. I forgot all about that.
Yeah, no,
I keep forgetting because it was not good.
Don't go off and watch it. You'll be very.
I want to forget about it.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, which is weird because it actually had like a fairly decent cast, right?
Mm-hmm. And it was just so poorly done.
Yeah. Holy crap! I forgot all about that movie.
Forget again. Just trust me. You rather forget.
Oh, I'm sure I will.
Yeah. See for yourself said I was enjoying the movie quite a bit, and then the crash kills the spectator happens in the movie. Took the F off. No. It elevated after that. Yeah, I actually like looked up really quick. I'm like, did this really happen? And it really happened.
And it did, yeah.
And the way
the
F off. Okay, I was making sure. I looked it up and after I watched it, you can watch the actual crash, and I'm like, it was almost like they just pulled it off the internet and it's like put it right in the movie because it was exactly like how it happened, which is kind of crazy. But yeah,
I'm glad David Harbour when he talked to him again. Whatever, he didn't say it's not your fault, and then he all of a sudden it's not your fault. It's not your fault. Don't mess with me, man. Don't mess with me. Do that, Matt Damon.
Yeah. It's not your fault. It starts hugging him, punching him. That's your fault.
And they just start crying together. That's
Yeah, I thought that was good. But then that was when you got more of his story of Jack's backstory, and then you're like,
Right.
oh, they're kind of the same, you know. So yeah, that was a good moment. Xavier said the second half of this film hooked me. Same. I think that's when it really, really got me. See for yourself said David Harbour was excellent in the movie, but I like him in everything, even Hellboy, which wasn't his fault.
No, he was the least of Hellboy's problems.
Yeah, the story plot, everything.
Well, also it's the fact that we enjoyed the Hellboy that they had before. That's just
Mhm.
another thing.
Yeah. So Kevin, I see yours, but we're gonna save those for after the review.
Mhm.
See for yourself said I like the fact that obviously he had some Sony input, still showed the griminess of the business from Orlando Bloom's character. Yeah. Definitely the Sony thing. The cars were awesome. I forgot to mention that. Like they were all driving freaking Skylines, and I was like, oh man, I'm not as big of a car nut as I once was, but I saw once they were driving those GTRs, I was like, oh, yeah. And then it just got better after that when they started doing like actual like formula cars and stuff like that. So
that's when it's funny when we got to that last race and they said, "Oh, this is what you're driving now." He was like, "What the f is this?"
Yeah, it's big boy. This is the real racer's car. But yeah, Sony was all over that with using their game. It makes sense. But yeah, Orlando Bloom, it was kind of shady, but not really because he still trusted Jack to make the right decision. So that's why I appreciate it from him. He didn't. They had that argument. I'm like, oh, this is the make and break part where like they're gonna like be on opposite ends, and at the end of the day, he's still kind of like respected what Jack wanted to do.
He said, "You know better than that. It'll be you. I'm gonna ride or die with you because you chose. You're the only one that went with me. So that's it."
Yeah. So I appreciate that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Any other goods you can think of that we might have forgot?
Those were my main ones.
Yeah, music was pretty good. I enjoyed the silliness of the music.
I did. Yeah, that's more of a bad.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. We'll start with the bad stuff then. Brandon, what you got? What didn't you like about it?
The romantic subplot was just kind of there.
Exactly where I was going.
Like, it kind of felt obligatory because there's so many underdog stories where you have one, and it just kind of felt like they just put it there out of necessity. You could have just removed it, and I wouldn't have even noticed personally. I think that there were parts where it kind of took a while to kind of gain a little traction, especially like the first act, like the first act and a half, I'd say. But it really kind of found its footing like right around the midway mark, like maybe right before the midway mark. I still was having a great time watching it, but they could have picked up the pace like a little more in the first half of it. I think that, those were really the only ones. I'm trying not to get like terribly nitpicky, but those were, I'd say those were the main ones. Like the romantic subplot, and then like the first half. It took a minute to get its footing, but once it really hit the ground, it was really working for me. But those were the main ones, I'd say.
Okay. You got Brian.
I definitely gonna say the first thing was the girlfriend. I did not care about her, not one bit. He was done like, hey, where's Leah? No one cared. No one else cared about her. She could have just totally been taken out of the movie, and it actually probably would have been better. There's no point at all. So I'll say that. And then I felt that they were kind of all over the place at the beginning, and until they really focused on Yen, it was kind of hard to enjoy the character development because you didn't know what was going on. I think that was something that was kind of obvious at the beginning, and it took some time for it to get. And I think that's what everyone says that once you get to the middle point, it was really, really good because it was going downhill. We knew exactly what was going on, and we cared about the character and all that stuff. But it was kind of like all over the place for some scenes, even with the family. Like, I understood what they were trying to get at, with the brother being the soccer player, like the dad and all that stuff. But it was so like not focused, and just I get you. So now we're doing 15 minutes of him. I'm not the favorite child. I'm not doing the same thing that my brother's doing. And we got 15 minutes of this. And me wasting money on these people because we can't afford it. It was just so much of that. The only reason I kind of let it go was because of Jerry Halliwell. Just that was the only reason. Like besides that, I was like, man, you could have got rid of half of this stuff. I understood that the family didn't care.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the first scene with the family was the best when they're at the dinner table.
The dinner
Yeah.
table.
And then that's really all you needed, and then maybe a little one-on-one with the dad. But yeah,
Well, him saying don't do this, and then him going off and doing it himself. That's all we really needed. And you could have cut 15 minutes out of that. This could be a 2-hour movie.
yeah.
But I think that's really my only thing is the girlfriend in the beginning. It wasn't pacing. It's just it's stuff that I just didn't need. You don't need it in the movie. It didn't affect the movie at all. None of that stuff mattered. What you got, Tank?
Yeah. So I mean, I'm right there with the girlfriend thing. I know See For Yourself said I feel like, so this is what he said. I feel like real life Yen probably mandated that love story was there. I would if it was a movie about me. And he said you can tell my story, but you can't exclude my wife from it, real life Jen. So I don't think that's even his wife, because he's I just looked it up right now because I'm like, I think he's dating somebody else. Yeah, and he started dating some fashion designer in 2018. So I don't think that's his wife.
He traded up.
Maybe. But yeah, so yeah, the love story was kind of the weird spot because it seemed so random and shoehorned in. It was like, yeah, really? Like I don't know. And it really didn't go anywhere either, which is kind of like my
She's just there.
thing.
Just
She's just
hey,
there.
you have a girlfriend now.
Yeah. Like now
I
you
will
really
call
made a
her up
bit.
when I go to Australia. I got nothing else to do.
Yeah. So the love story was my least favorite part of the movie. Just because one, like I don't mind love stories, it just didn't do anything. It didn't change. It didn't add motivation to the character. It didn't change the characters in any
Like
way at all.
Adrian,
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
changed
Yeah.
who he is and gave her love.
Yeah.
Like you changed everything about me. No, it's just like I was still doing the same thing I was doing before you.
Yeah.
You gave
Exactly.
me a little outlet to talk to somebody.
Exactly. Like nothing was any different. The movie could have maybe been a little bit shorter. Because like you said, I was enjoying the beginning part of it. I wish they would have focused more on just him in the driving, but it was more of the video game and family, and how those butted heads, in his life. And I get it. They could have probably made that a little bit shorter and got to the good part of him actually racing the car. Because once he started, doing that and going against the other Gran Turismo players, then I was like getting really interested in this and that and stuff like that. So, but yeah, you could have 15 minutes from it. But like I said, neither of them ruined the movie for me. It was just like they could have been not there, and I think I would have had just as much fun.
Yeah, it wouldn't change anything.
Yeah. So let's see what some of the comments are saying. Xavier Phoenix said the bad. They could have cut that girlfriend completely out. Yep. Yes, said I wish the first act would have been used more on character development. Yeah, because it was more like we said, like family, right? Like him and his family drama instead of him
focusing on him and then seeing what he had to do and what problems that he had and stuff like that.
Yeah. And we got Bigger 40 Entertainment. What is up, guys?
What is up?
Hey.
Xavier said the beginning was more of a ad for the game. I mean, pretty much. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, but also it was important because it is what it needed to be. It's like, oh, this guy's a gamer, and he talks so much about the game. He goes, "It's the greatest game ever," and blah blah blah. But whenever I talk to somebody who is a diehard Gran Turismo player, that's how they talk. Like it's insane. Like I kind of like Gran Turismo. I don't like realism. I rather play like Burnout and like cause a giant accident and like go super fast and do stupid shit in a racing game. But the people who love Gran Turismo, that's exactly how they talk. They're like, it's so great. Like it's exactly, you can feel it in the controller and it does this and everything happens, blah, blah, blah. Like, I was like, okay, that's cool. You know, but
Settle down. Settle
yeah,
down.
but that's exactly how those guys are, those diehards for that game is. And I'll give the game credit for being like insanely realistic. You know, like
Tire size, everything is right on.
everything. The ways the brakes burn if you go too hard and too fast in the game, it you know, on a technical level, it's insane, but it's just not a game for me. But
Yeah.
And then see for yourself said you would have cut out the whole steal the car / party scene. Yeah.
I think that's kind of
Even the steal the car thing was kind of not important because nothing happened from that either.
Yep, nothing else. It was just like a dead end.
Yeah, because then he went to go do the train yard with his dad, and then then that didn't even matter either because then he went and won.
He went, yeah.
So like that whole sequence of events, you know, from the love scene, the party, the car chase, the train yard, none of that mattered. You know,
Everyone's like, don't care. That's just what it was. Like, didn't matter the story. We're just telling you something that happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kevin Davis said Sony Pictures has good films. Yeah.
Yo, I can't wait to talk about that.
Yeah. We see that, Tony, Kevin. We're gonna bring that up in a little bit.
That's gonna be the next thing we'll talk about. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But let's get into our ratings with this one. So here at Spoiler Kings, we do things nice and easy. Now, later, never. That's how we rank our movies. Now means you got to go check it out right now before it gets spoiled, and while you can see it in theaters. Later means you can wait till it's out on streaming and watch it whenever you can. And never means just skip it. It is not worth your time. Brandman, what you giving Gran Turismo?
You know what? I could give this a now, and only because it was kind of a breath of fresh air this summer where everything's like huge spectacle and heavy on CG. This was kind of a nice little change of pace. Everything felt a lot more grounded and practical, and it's really at its core an old school kind of underdog story, which I thought was nice this summer. It was nice to have that different little change of pace. This was definitely something that kind of flew in unexpectedly. I didn't think it was going to be anything great, and I ended up liking it a lot more than I expected to. There was a lot that I was really happy with all around the table, from the races to the way that it was shot to the performances, just everything. It was very well paced for the most part. Like I said, there was a little bit of a pacing problem the first third of the movie, roughly almost the first half, but as a whole, I thought it was a really, really entertaining time, and it's nice to see Neil Blomkamp make something that I legitimately enjoyed again. I hope he keeps it up. So I could give this a now. I can go with a now for this.
Yeah. What about you, Brian?
I am really having a hard time deciding on this. See, I don't think this is a movie that I had to see in the movie theater. And by definition, if I didn't have to see in the movie theater, I think I have to give it a later.
Mm-hmm.
You know, did I enjoy it? For me, yes, I did. I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the story. I said I got emotional, all that stuff. If I was grading the movie itself, it was a good movie. But do I think you need to run out and go see it? Is it a now movie? I don't believe it's a now movie. I think that's what you see in the box office. You know, you see Barbie almost beat it. I think that's what it is. It's a good movie, but is it a now movie? I don't think so. So I'm going to give it a later.
Yeah, so I had the same problem after watching this. Was as a car guy, I did enjoy it a lot, and seeing those cars on the big screen was kind of cool, and seeing all that stuff. Um, you know, it's definitely like interesting, to see if you're a car guy, if you're a Gran Turismo fan, um, I guess if you're a David Harbour fan, then go see this in theater. But for the most part, I think this is going to be a later, and I think this is going to be most enjoyable at home. Put your surround sound on, chill out on your couch, and just throw this on like on a Friday night. I think you'll have a better time than going to the theater.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like you said, Brian, like I really enjoyed this movie. It was a lot of fun. I might buy this movie when it comes out.
So it's already on pre-sale.
I'll
I
buy
saw
it.
it on Amazon already.
Yeah,
And I was like,
so
man, yeah.
It's that, I'm not a crazy physical media collector. I buy the movies I like, and I don't buy every single movie that they make. And this one I definitely liked enough where I will buy this on 4K and definitely like watch this at home. Like it was that good for me. So. And then one last thing with the Rotten Tomatoes score. So we got the critics, 177 reviews from the critics, gave it a 61, which is technically still good, but that's definitely on the lower end than I expected from the critics. But the audience, holy shit, from the audience, 1,000+ verified, 98% from the audience. So the audience love this. And again, that's who I think went to go see this movie, was people who love racing, people who love cars, people who love the video game. They're going to go out there and they're going to love the movie because it has everything that they like, and yeah. So 98% was like, damn, that's super, super high. I mean, I liked it. I don't know if I liked it that much. Like a 98.
Yeah. I'm probably would be like, if I was doing my own tomato meter, it'd be like 80. 78.
I probably like 85 for me.
It'd be a B- for me.
Yeah.
So that's at 80. That's 80. B-. Be 80.
Yeah, give it a solid B.
Yeah. So, but yeah, 98 when I saw that, like,
someone
high.
loved it, but that's because you get all the fans of the genre watching that type of movie. So it makes sense.
Yep. And then See For Yourself said it is a B for me as well. So he's giving it somewhere in that 80%-ish. But would you so Ken, would you say see it now, or probably people can wait till it comes out at home and check it out at home?
Because it felt like it'd be it'd be one of those movies that if they came out on Netflix, I'd be like, oh man, that should have been in the movie theater. Like a top tier Netflix movie. But is it like a top movie that I have to go see?
I mean, I definitely agree with what Brandon said, where it's a movie I didn't expect to be too
as good as it was,
and it was really good. But same thing with Ford versus Ferrari. Like I was kind of like, okay, it's got really great actors. Well, let's see what it's about. And I wind up loving that movie as well.
I love Ford versus Ferrari.
So even my girlfriend, who doesn't really care about cars, really liked that movie just because they make you like cars. And they make you like, oh yeah, maybe I do want to drive a Shelby Cobra. I'm like, yeah, you do. It's like, who doesn't?
Kind of wanted to see Christian Bale win the Oscar for that.
That would have been pretty awesome. So See For Yourself said it'll say see it now just to see the races on the big screen, which would be cool, super cool.
But I thought the races would be cool, like even on my flat screen.
Yeah.
At home. But you do need surround sound because you want to feel what's going on.
Get that when they get those cars going, driving around the track. But cool. Anything else that you guys might have missed that you want to bring up now?
No, it's just a good movie. Good feeling, solid movie.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. So there it is. There is our review, full spoilers, everything like that of Gran Turismo. I don't know. Can you spoil a true story? Like you can literally read a book or something. I'm sure that he wrote a book. But that's our review for Gran Turismo based on a true story. So leave a comment. Let us know what you think about it down below. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Somewhere in between. And where would you rate it? A now, later, never. Let us know. So if you're watching on replay, appreciate you guys. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. hit that bell notification so you know when we go live, and you too can be part of the show with your reviews live. If you're watching on live with us, stick around because we are going to move on to our next